So the Mission Outbreak event for Rainbow Six Siege is finally out for consoles, and after playing it for a while, I wanted to give my thoughts. Overall, I really enjoy it, and it definitely really exceeded my expectations. When I first heard the leaks of a zombie mode in Siege, I thought it sounded really stupid, and couldn't really see how it would work with Rainbow Six Siege's mechanics. However, when we got the looks of the new cutscenes, I started becoming really excited, and when we did get the full reveal at the Invitational a couple weeks ago, I was really impressed, and after finally playing it a lot, I'm loving it. I love the whole aspect of adding actual story elements with full-on CG cutscenes that feature the characters from the game that we've all come to know and love over the last couple years with actual personality and things going on with them. I also just love being able to see your own customized operators, especially with the elite uniforms in cutscenes, which is just really cool and satisfying. Thankfully, the mode also plays really well. The Siege gunplay, as always, feels great, and while some of the changes they made felt kind of weird at first when you first start playing the mode, I understood why they did it, and the mode would probably be sort of broken if they didn't make the necessary adjustments. The awesome new melee takedowns were also something I wasn't really expecting, and just a blast to use and play around with, and I like the selection of operators they chose, even if some like Glaz and Kapkan aren't great and don't really make a ton of sense, since you never really have the time to put up the Kapkan traps or use Glaz's thermal sight. Nevertheless, it's still a blast to experiment with all their different gadgets in this setting and see how they work. Operators like Buck, Smoke, Finka, and Tachenka are all a blast to use though, and might actually be helpful in some situations. But it's really just fun to see people like Tachenka and Kapkan in this setting and see attackers putting up barricades, especially if you've been playing this game for a while. It's fun and cool to look at, and the different variety of enemies was also something I was really anticipating, and thankfully they're well done. It really reminded me of games like Left 4 Dead with the spitting zombies and the giant tanks that throw you across the room, and it's just really cool and satisfying and fun to hang out with your friends while playing this, and just reacting to all the different zombies. It's a lot of fun. However, you could still tell it was Siege, as this was really apparent through the awesome zombies that can tear through reinforced walls, and just all the different destructibility aspects that are still in this mode. They're not taken out just for like the multiplayer, but they are still here, so that's something I was really pleased to see. And just the pure amount of different zombie types really surprised me, and is one of the best things going for this mode in my opinion. And just the atmosphere was really apparent in each of the 3 missions you play, and very well done through the sound, through the lighting, like actually having a flashlight you can toggle on and off, and I was just really impressed by how much work they put into all the small details and new animations like being thrown and pressing buttons. They also have these cool cutscenes every time you die, which really remind me of the Arkham games with your killer kind of standing above you, and I haven't noticed too many glitches in the mode besides a few when I did the melee takedowns, but definitely nothing really game breaking. And another addition I did enjoy was the new recruit design, which I really loved, and further shows off how much work was put into this mode. And finally, they went on to even include 2 different difficulties, normal and pandemic. Normal is obviously your normal difficulty, and pandemic is the hard mode that has friendly fire enabled and just more difficult and numerous enemies. So yeah, like I said, there are 3 different missions that are randomly chosen for you to play in this mode that normally range from around 20 to 25 minutes. So from what I understand, there is kind of a chronological order to the missions in this game, but obviously you don't get to choose which mission you play. It's randomly chosen out of the 3 that there are, and so the order you get to play them in probably will vary a little bit. But the mission I first played was the Nest, and I thought it was pretty fun. It basically consists of exploring this really cool setting where the lighting on the building stood out to me, and working your way into a house that you inevitably have to defend and breach with a thermite charge. Then taking out what's essentially the cause of the virus later in the mission, while defending more explosives, and it's fun enough. The second mission I did was Sierra Paradise, which is very similar to the other missions, and I thought the defense hold down the room section here, where you have to protect the explosives, was actually done a lot better here, as the room was well designed and fun to defend. I also just really like the Smasher fight at the end of this mission. In case you don't know, the Smashers are kind of like the Hulk huge tank zombies, and actually being able to defend with Jaeger at the end of this mission and defend him was really cool, and just as a longtime fan of Siege, was really awesome to see in this mode where you're fighting zombies and defending him. It's just a lot of fun. Then the last mission I did was Sierra Veterans Wing, which is also a good time. The hospital setting really stood out to me, however it was a little stale just for me personally, just escorting the doctor the entire time, and the ending of the mission was really awesome as it also reminded me of Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2, and just defending the landing pad had a cool visual to it, and yeah, that's about all I have to say for Outbreak. For a mode I initially laughed off as a stupid addition to this game, it really surprised me with just with the pure amount of content and detail they've stuffed in here. There was just so much I was hoping for that I didn't expect, but they've delivered. I do wish the missions were a little more varied as they all kind of follow the same generic formula, but it's by no means bad, and all 3 missions are a great time to play with, especially if you're playing with your friends. So those are my thoughts on Mission Outbreak. Overall, I'm really impressed. Don't forget to tell me in the comments below what you guys think about Mission Outbreak if you've played it in Rainbow Six Siege, and thank you guys for watching Majestic Gaming.